Let's talk about a different kind of hard. Not hard like a difficult email or a complicated spreadsheet. Hard like your mother needs more help than she's getting, and you live 2 states away, and you're not sure what options exist and which ones are viable. Or hard like walking into a car dealership, knowing they do this every day, and you do it maybe once every 5 years, and that gap is going to cost you money in ways you won't realize until you're already home. These situations weigh you down, not because you lack intelligence, you clearly don't, but because there are too many variables, too many people, and too much at stake to hold it all in your head at once. Something always slips through. Usually the thing you didn't think about, of course. Turns out AI is surprisingly useful here, not because it's lived experience, it doesn't, but because it can hold all of that complexity while you work through it without getting tired, without getting emotionally invested, and above all, without forgetting what you told it 20 minutes ago. That last part alone is worth something. To prove that AI can actually help here, we're splitting this video into 2 halves. First, we'll present how AI handles that kind of tangle in general. Then we'll point it at something specific, buying a car. You'll see the actual prompts I typed, what ChatGPT handed back, and how that turned into a short list of vehicles I could actually live with. There's a checklist for the dealership too, and a bit of practice for the moment a salesperson starts leaning on you. I've fallen for that particular lean more than once, so believe me when I say this part is worth your attention. But none of it means much as a thought experiment. By the way, there's a free download that goes with today's video. It includes all of the prompts I'll be using, plus planning checklists, negotiation ideas, decision tools, and a few practical tips that didn't fit into the video. You can grab it now or later, it'll still be there. Most people use AI the way they used to use Google. Ask a question, get an answer, move on. That works. It's just not the interesting part. The shallow version, what's a fair price for a used Honda CR-V? You'll get a number, maybe a range, probably a suggestion to check Kelley Blue Book. Useful enough, but not much different from what you could have found yourself in a few minutes of searching. The deeper version is something else entirely. Instead of asking a question, you should describe a situation. Tell AI what's actually going on. Give it the context, the constraints, what matters to you, what's your goal, and what you're not willing to give up. A few things make a real difference here. Context, for one. Not just the surface question, but what's actually going on underneath. Your constraints like your budget, timeline, geography, who else has a stake in the outcome, and what specifically matters to you, which trade-offs you would accept and which ones you wouldn't. Now that shift from question to situation is where AI stops being a search engine and starts being something closer to a thinking partner. Most people never make that shift because the habit of asking quick questions is so deeply wired that we apply it even when the problem in front of us is anything but quick. I catch myself doing this all the time, which tells you something. Here's the car example. Given the car buying context, what are your money, time, location constraints? What matters most? And what trade-offs can you accept? Look at these examples side by side. The generic version, how do I negotiate buying a car? Well, you'll get a perfectly competent answer about doing your research and being willing to walk away. You already knew that. So did I, and it still didn't help. The specific version gives AI your actual situation. The car, the price, the trade-in range, the out-the-door target, and the fact that you tend to cave when someone acts disappointed in you. That last part matters more than you think. That version gets you specific language to use. It gets you a heads up about the 4-square method before the salesman pulls it out. It gives you a negotiating partner with no emotional stake in whether you buy the car or not. Same topic, completely different result. Beyond the price, AI can walk you through how to handle the financing situation separately, how to respond when they tell you your trade-in is worth less than you expected, and what it means when they say they need to check with the manager. Spoiler alert, they don't need to check with the manager. Knowing that before you sit down is surprisingly steadying. Caregiving logistics is where you're coordinating between family members who don't agree, researching services you've never heard of before. If you're trying to figure out what insurance will and won't cover, AI can help you map the landscape before you start making calls. When you do reach a professional, you're not starting from zero and paying to be educated. Planning a trip when someone in the group has mobility limitations or medical requirements is genuinely a different kind of planning. AI can help you think through contingencies and figure out what questions to actually ask hotels and airlines rather than hoping you thought of everything. The goal isn't to eliminate problems, it's to catch them early enough that become inconveniences instead of crises. Knowing to ask about the walk-in shower before you book, not after you arrive, is that kind of preparation. It's a smaller thing than it sounds, and it matters more than you'd expect. When you've gotten a handful of contractor bids that are all different, AI can help you understand what you're actually comparing, what belongs in a contract, and which questions will reveal whether someone is cutting corners. You're not becoming a contractor. You're becoming a harder-to-fool client, which is even better for you. In the real world, not every decision carries the same stakes. Being honest about where AI earns full credit and where it earns partial credit is a worthwhile investment of your time. For decisions that are moderately complex but don't carry serious legal or financial consequences, like the car negotiation, the contractor comparison, even the travel planning, AI can often take you most of the way there. Now, that's not a small thing. For decisions that do carry serious consequences, AI is where you start organizing your thinking, not where you finish. What's that good for? It helps you understand enough to have a smarter conversation with the human expert. You walk in knowing what questions to ask. You understand the answer when it comes, and you can push back if something doesn't sound right. That tends to make expert conversations shorter and less expensive, which is rarely a bad outcome. Once you've formed a plan, bring it back to AI and ask it to push back on you. Don't ask it, is this a good idea? That's too vague. Ask instead, here's what I'm planning to do. What am I not seeing? What assumptions am I making that might be wrong? What would change your assessment? That is intelligent use of the tool. Now back to the car example. Describe your negotiating plan and ask AI to play the role of the salesperson and find the gaps in your strategy. It will find some. That's exactly the point. Now, this works across most of the situations we've discussed. Before you sign with a contractor, ask AI what's missing from the contract. Before you book the accessible travel itinerary, ask what could go wrong. Before a difficult family conversation about caregiving, ask AI what you might be underestimating about the other person's perspective. You'll be glad you did most of the time. It's not about letting AI make the decision. It's about making sure you haven't missed something obvious before you commit. And it also gives you a place to stress test your thinking that doesn't require calling a friend at 11 o'clock at night. Speaking from experience on that last one, the decisions that wear us down most aren't usually the ones that require the most information. They're the ones where the information, the people, the stakes, and the emotions are all tangled together, and there's no clean place to start pulling. AI won't untangle that for you, but it can hold the pieces you're not currently looking at, keep track of what you've already worked out, and flag when something in your reasoning doesn't quite add up. And it will do all of that without having its own agenda and without telling anyone what you were worried about. It will never replace your human judgment. But for the decisions that actually keep you up at night, helping you see the whole picture might be the most useful thing it can do. It's already saved my bacon on more than one occasion. I hope it does the same for you. Every week, we're exploring another practical way AI can make everyday life a little easier. If that sounds useful, we'd love to have you with us. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Before we jump into the demo, I'm curious. What's the most complicated decision you're trying to work through these days? Buying a car, a move, travel, family, home repairs? Tell me in the comments. I read every one of them, and they often give us ideas for future videos. That's the framework in theory. Now, let's watch what happens when a real prompt meets a real used car lot. Because I promise you, the AI didn't let me off easy. I plan on testing this exact scenario myself, so I'll probably be more nervous than any man in his 15th or 16th car purchase has any business being. Walking onto a car lot unprepared is a rookie move. And At my age, I don't have the energy for rookie moves anymore. My goal with this first exchange was to walk in with some confidence and a little logic to back me up. Above all, I didn't want to drive off the lot with the first car the salesman showed me, like I actually did once. Look at my first prompt. I didn't just ask for a list of cars. I gave the AI my age, my driving habits, and my specific preferences. Then I set a boundary by simply saying, please ask me a few practical questions first. Then help me create a simple must-have, nice-to-have, not important list for my next car. ChatGPT came back with 8 practical questions, organized under plain categories like vehicle size, getting in and out, and driving comfort. It also handed me an example framework for sorting my priorities into must-have, nice-to-have, and not important before I'd given it a single real answer. Now, that example was just a guess based on my prompt, nothing more. At the end, it asked me for my actual answers to its 8 questions. Instead of writing a novel, I just answered the questions plainly. Pay attention to how I handled number 3 about cabin quietness and number 8, where I said I wanted a hybrid if the price made sense. ChatGPT took those details and updated its target profile. It used a compact SUV with a higher seat and simple controls. It adjusted every priority category to match my actual life, not that generic buyer's. What stood out most is that it wrote out a full dealership script I could read word for word. With that framework in place, I got specific with my next prompt. Suggest a short list of specific models worth looking at given these priorities. Now look at how it narrowed the field. It recommends a 2020 to 2023 Honda CR-V as the top choice, pointing out that it's simply a newer version of my current 2015 model, an easy upgrade rather than a leap. It gives exact trim guidance, telling me to look at the EX or EXL. Its top picks lands on the CR-V, the Subaru Forester, and the Toyota RAV4. It also includes a section called I would probably skip for your priorities, steering me away from models like the Jeep Compass. Then it hands me an exact search phrase for Googling and suggests test driving all 3 on the same day, so the comparisons actually mean something. Now, good data doesn't help much if you can't glance at it while a salesperson is talking your ear off. So I used a prompt focused purely on format. Based on my answers, create a simple car shopping checklist I can take with me. Make it easy to read and focused on comfort, safety, visibility, reliability, cost, and ease of use. It reformatted everything into lists grouped by my priorities with a clean, empty notes section. What started as a chat turned into something I could actually carry into a dealership and use. Now, showroom floors are built to pressure you, and I fold faster than most, so for my last move, I used ChatGPT to rehearse my defense. I asked it, help me practice polite but firm phrases I can use at the dealership if I feel pressured. For example, I want to say that I need time to think, and I'm not ready to decide today. The AI gave me solid, specific phrasing for the moments dealers use to push for a same-day signature. The core advice? Stay calm and don't apologize for taking your time. My favorite line, and the one I'll actually use word for word, was, well, I appreciate your help, but I'm not looking to make a decision today. I'm going to take the information home, compare the options, and decide later. It keeps you from over-explaining, which is really the whole trick to staying in control. Now that's the whole exchange, start to finish. And nobody had to raise their voice or roll their eyes once. If a little upfront structure can get you through a car dealership without losing your shirt, it's worth asking what else it could smooth out for you this week. And if you'd like to try this yourself, I've put together a free companion guide for this lesson. It includes all 19 prompts we used, plus dealership checklists, negotiation practice, decision tools, and a few extra planning guides to make the whole process easier. I hope you find it useful.